stood at the navigation console of the merchant ship Stellar Drift, her 4 arms moving across the controls with practiced ease. Her scales shimmered blue under the artificial lights as she checked their course through the star system. Everything was normal. Everything was peaceful. She allowed herself a small smile. Behind her, she heard the soft footsteps she had come to know so well, entered the bridge carrying 2 cups of something hot. He moved carefully, the way he always did, like the ship's gravity was just a bit too much for him. Which it was. The ship ran at standard galactic gravity, which meant was carrying an extra 20% of his body weight every single day. "Brought you something," said, offering her one of the cups. His voice was quiet and gentle. Took it with her lower right hand. "You did not have to walk all the way from the galley." "I wanted to," he said, settling into the empty chair beside her station. He looked small in it. Most of the crew chairs were built for beings much larger than humans. She studied her husband as he sipped his drink. 2 years of marriage, and sometimes she still could not believe it, was so different from anyone she had ever known. His skin was soft, not scaled or armored. He had only 2 arms. He needed a very specific range of temperature to be comfortable. Too hot and he would sweat and become weak. Too cold and he would shiver and lose the ability to use his fingers properly. When she had first told her family about her mother had been horrified. "A human," she had said. "They are so fragile. What if something happens to him? What if he gets sick? What if the temperature regulators fail?" Her father had been more direct. "Humans are weak, daughter. I know they are clever with machines, but they break so easily. You are strong. You need someone strong." Had not listened. She had fallen in love with his kindness, his quick mind, and the way he looked at the universe with wonder. The first time they met was at a space station where her translator had broken. Most repair technicians would have charged her triple and taken 3 days, had fixed it in an hour and refused payment. He had just smiled and said, "I like fixing things." "What are you thinking about?" asked now, watching her with those soft brown eyes. "About when we met," said. "About how everyone said humans were too fragile." Laughed. It was a warm sound. "Well, we are fragile compared to most species. I cannot deny that." "It does not bother you when others look at you like you might break." He shrugged. "Not really. Let them think what they want. I know what I can do." Before could respond, the door opened again. The ship's medic walked in. She was human too, and she moved with the same careful grace that had. She was taller than, with her dark hair pulled back in a tight braid. "There you two are," said. "We are about to have dinner. Captain is asking for everyone." The 3 of them made their way to the galley. The Stellar Drift was not a large ship. It had a crew of 15, and they all fit comfortably around the long table. Captain sat at the head, his shell-covered body taking up 2 normal seats. He was from a species that looked like massive crustaceans, with thick armor and powerful claws. "Ah, our navigation officer," Captain said when he saw, "and our humans. Come sit, we were just discussing the route." Took her seat, sat beside her, and she noticed how some of the other crew members glanced at him. There was another human who worked in the cargo bay. There was Jin, one of the security officers, and there was Minyu, who helped in engineering. Alike leaned forward. "I heard we are going through the disputed sector," she said. "Is that wise?" "The payment is good," Captain replied, "and the route is mostly safe. There have been no pirate attacks in that area for 3 months." "Mostly safe is not completely safe," muttered. Dinner continued with the usual conversations. Stories from past jobs, complaints about the food synthesizer, plans for shore leave at the next station. Ate her protein paste and listened to talk with Minyu about some repair they needed to do on the secondary engine. At one point caught eye and smiled. "You two are cute together," she said quietly, "very domestic." Felt her scales warm with embarrassment. "We are just eating dinner." "Still cute," said. "You know, when first told me he was going to marry, I thought he was crazy. Your people are warriors, strong, tough, and humans are." she gestured at herself. Well, you know what we are. You are brilliant, said firmly. Can fix anything. You can heal injuries that would baffle most doctors. Can calculate cargo loads faster than the computer. True, said, but we are also soft and weak. I have seen the way the other species look at us sometimes, like we are children, like we need protection. Could not argue with that. She had seen it too. She had stopped 3 fights in the past year where aliens from other ships had mocked, called him paper person and flesh bag and other cruel names. Each time had just smiled and walked away. Each time had wanted to break the insulter's face. After dinner and returned to their shared quarters. The room was small but comfortable, had decorated it with pictures of Earth, the human, had added fabrics from her home planet. Long day, said stretching. She heard his joints pop. I am going to be sore tomorrow. The gravity, asked. Always the gravity, he said with a smile, but I manage. She watched him prepare for sleep. He moved slowly, carefully. He was tired. The extra gravity wore on him. The ship's temperature was a bit cold for human comfort. He wore extra layers. He needed specific food. He could not eat half the things the other crew members ate without getting sick. And yet he was happy. He smiled every day. He never complained. He fixed problems and helped others and made bad jokes that somehow always made laugh. Do you ever regret it? Asked suddenly. Leaving Earth, living out here where everything is harder for you. Looked at her with surprise. Regret it? Never. This is where I want to be. With you, seeing the galaxy. Yes, it is harder for me than for most species, but that just means I have to be smarter about things. I have to think more, plan more. And honestly, I like the challenge. He climbed into their bed and patted the space beside him. Joined him, careful not to put her full weight on his smaller frame. You are strange, you know, she said softly. Strange good or strange bad? Strange wonderful. He kissed her forehead. Get some sleep. Tomorrow we enter the disputed sector. Probably nothing will happen, but we should be rested just in case. Closed her eyes, feeling safe and warm beside her fragile human husband. Outside their window, the stars streamed by as the stellar drift continued its journey through the darkness of space. Everything was peaceful. Everything was normal. For now, the alarm shattered the peaceful silence of the ship. Jerked awake, her training kicking in immediately. Red lights flashed throughout their quarters, the emergency signal. She rolled out of bed and grabbed her suit from the wall. Beside her was already moving. His eyes were open and alert. No confusion, no panic. He pulled on his clothes with quick, efficient movements. What is it? He asked, his voice calm. I do not know, come. They rushed to the bridge together. Captain was already there, his claws gripping the command console. On they saw a ship. It was ugly and covered in weapons, a pirate vessel. How many? Asked, taking her position at navigation. One ship, Captain said, but it is heavily armed. They are hailing us. Answer them, said. The screen changed. A reptilian face appeared. The creature had scales-like, but these were dark red and covered in scars. His eyes were cold and yellow. Pirates, the worst kind. Merchant vessel, the pirate said, his voice rough. You will stop your engines and prepare to be boarded. Surrender peacefully and you will live. Resist and you will die. You have 1 minute to decide. The screen went black. Captain looked at his crew, who had just arrived, and we cannot fight them, he said. Their weapons will cut through our hull. We have no choice. So we surrender? Asked. We have families, Captain said heavily. We survive first. We can replace cargo. We cannot replace lives. Said nothing. Looked at him and saw something strange in his expression. He was very still, very focused, like he was thinking through a complicated problem. The next few minutes happened too fast. The pirate ship fired something at them. Not weapons, magnetic locks. They clamped onto the stellar drift's hull with heavy thuds. Then came the sound of cutting tools. The pirates were making their own doors. "All crew to the galley," Captain ordered through the ship's communication system. "Do not resist. Stay together. Let them take what they want." The crew gathered in the galley, 15 people all scared, counted 3 including herself, 2 with their crystalline bodies, 5 humans counting, and the rest were various species. All of them were civilian crew. None were soldiers. The sounds of cutting stopped. Then came the heavy footsteps of the boarding party, many footsteps. Heart pounded. She had heard stories about pirates. They were brutal. They took prisoners and sold them. They killed anyone who looked at them wrong. The galley door exploded inward. Pirates poured through. Counted 12 in this group alone. All of them wore armor. All of them carried weapons. They were massive, each one larger than even Captain. On the floor, one of them commanded, "All of you now." The crew obeyed. Knelt, her 4 arms raised. She looked for, he was kneeling too, but something was different. His breathing had changed. It was slower, deeper. His eyes moved constantly, watching everything. The pirates spread through the ship, heard more cutting in other sections, more boarding parties. How many were there? 20, 30. One pirate walked along the line of kneeling crew members. He kicked Captain's shell. "You are the captain." "Yes," said. "Where is your vault? Where do you keep the valuable cargo?" "Section C, Deck 2. I will give you the codes." "Smart." The pirate looked at the rest of the crew. His eyes stopped on the humans. "What are these, so small, so soft-looking?" "Humans," another pirate said. "Worth almost nothing as slaves. Their bodies are too weak for labor." "Shame. Well, we will take them anyway. Someone might want them." Felt rage building in her chest. She started to rise to say something, but a hand touched her arm. His hand. He squeezed gently, a warning, "Stay calm." The pirates began herding the crew into groups. They were separating them, putting the stronger species in one corner and the weaker ones in another. And the other humans were pushed toward the weak group. That was when everything changed. The ship shuddered, an explosion from somewhere below. The lights flickered. The pirates looked confused. "What was that?" One of them shouted into his communicator. "Squad 3, report, Squad 3." No response. Another explosion, closer this time. The lights went out completely for 3 seconds. When they came back on, 2 of the pirates in the galley had fallen over, not dead, just unconscious. Small darts stuck out of their necks. "What is happening?" the lead pirate roared. Looked around frantically. Where had the darts come from? Then she saw movement, fast movement. A human was no longer in the weak group, had vanished. Another pirate fell. Another dart. This time saw it. The dart had come from a ventilation shaft. Someone was in the walls. "Find them," the lead pirate commanded. "Find whoever is doing this." 4 pirates left to search. That left 8 in the galley. Better odds, but still impossible, except. Stood up, just stood up, calm and smooth. "Sit down, human," a pirate snarled, pointing his weapon. "No," said simply. The pirate's finger moved toward the trigger, but moved faster, faster than had ever seen him move. He ducked under the weapon and his hand shot out. He hit the pirate's wrist at an angle. The weapon fell, caught it midair, and in the same motion he slammed it into the pirate's head. The pirate dropped. It took 2 seconds, maybe less. The other pirates stared. So did the crew. This was Gentle, who walked carefully because the gravity was too much, who got tired easily, who seemed like a strong wind could break him. "Impossible," one pirate said. Smiled. It was not his usual warm smile. This smile was different, colder. "You have no idea what humans are capable of," he said quietly. Then chaos erupted, moved like liquid. He used the fallen weapon to block strikes. He used the pirate's own strength against them. When one charged, stepped aside, and the pirate crashed into another. When one swung a fist, redirected it into a third pirate's face. Move 2. She had somehow produced a small medical injector. She stabbed it into a pirate's leg. Whatever was in it worked fast. The pirate screamed and collapsed. Called Pattern 7. Got it. They moved together like they had practiced this 1,000 times, drew the pirate's attention, attacked from behind. They did not fight with strength. They fought with speed and precision and teamwork. The other human crew members were moving now too. Jin grabbed a fallen weapon. Minyu pulled Captain to safety. They all seemed to know exactly what to do. Within minutes, all 8 pirates in the galley were down, some unconscious, some groaning in pain, none able to fight. Stood in the center of the room, barely breathing hard, he looked at. "Are you okay?" he asked. His voice was gentle again, like the she knew. She could not speak, she just stared at him. "I know this is confusing," said. "I will explain everything, but first we need to retake the ship. How many pirates are left?" "At least 15, said, checking a small device on her wrist. "Scattered across 3 decks." "Then we need to move fast." Looked at Captain. "Captain, take the non-combat crew to the safe room. Lock it from inside. We will handle this." We asked, "You mean the humans?" "Yes." "But you are," stopped. He looked at the unconscious pirates. "Who are you people?" Smile was sad. "We are humans, Captain. We let the galaxy think we are weak because it is easier that way. But we are not weak. We never were. Now please get to safety. Let us do what we do best." Watched her husband check the weapon he had taken. His hands were steady. His eyes were hard. This was as she had never seen before, and somehow, impossibly, she loved him even more. Refused to go to the safe room. "I am security trained," she told firmly. "I am fighting with you." He looked at her for a long moment, then he nodded. "Okay, but you follow my lead. Can you do that?" "Yes." The other non-combat crew members hurried away with Captain. That left with the 5 humans, Jin and Minyu, and another who also refused to hide. "All right," said quietly. "The pirates are in 3 groups, one in engineering, one in the cargo bay, one is searching the residential section. We take them 1 group at a time." "How do you know where they are?" asked. Held up a small tablet. "I hacked into the ship's internal sensors while I was in the vents. I can track movement." "You can hack?" asked. "All humans can hack to some degree," said with a small smile. "We like understanding how things work and how to break them." "Engineering first," decided. "If they damage the core, we all die. Jin, Minyu, you are with me. You take the residential section. You choose which group to join." "I will go with you," said immediately. Nodded, "Me too." They moved through the corridors in silence. Led the way, the weapon held steady in his hands. Noticed how he moved now, not carefully like before, not slowly. He moved like a predator. Each step was silent. Each corner was checked before they passed. She whispered, "Where did you learn to fight like this?" "Earth," he said simply. "All humans learn to fight. We have been doing it for thousands of years." "But you are so peaceful, so gentle." "Those things are choices, not weaknesses," replied. "We choose to be peaceful. We choose to be gentle. But when we need to fight, we remember how." They reached engineering. Through the door window could see 4 pirates. They were trying to access the main controls. One of them was placing something on the reactor, an explosive device. "They are going to blow it," Minyu hissed. "We have to stop them now." His eyes narrowed. "Okay, new plan. Can you break down that door?" She looked at it. Standard reinforced door. "Yes, 1 hit." "Good. When I say go, you break it. Then get behind me immediately. Understand?" She nodded. "Minyu, you go left. Jin, you go right. I will take center. We have maybe 3 seconds before they react. Make them count. Go." Slammed her shoulder into the door. It exploded inward with a crash. She ducked behind as he had ordered. What happened next was almost too fast to follow. Shot the pirate with the explosive device first. The shot was perfect. It hit the device, not the pirate. The device sparked and died useless. The pirates stared in shock. Jin and Minyu moved like they had done this 100 times. Jin slid low, sweeping a pirate's legs. Minyu jumped, using a support beam to gain height, then dropped onto another pirate's shoulders. Fought the largest pirate. This one was huge even for a. His armored fist swung its head, dropped flat, let the fist pass over him, then rolled and kicked the pirate's knee from the side. Heard the crack. The pirate howled and fell. Was on him instantly, using a nerve strike that made the massive creature go limp. Engineering secure, said calmly. He looked at the explosive device. Minyu, can you make sure that is completely disabled? Already on it. Tapped a communicator on his wrist. Status. Residential section clear, his voice came back. 4 pirates down, no crew casualties. We are moving to support you. Negative, head to cargo bay. We will meet you there. That is where their leader will be. Understood. Stared at, you have communicators. You planned this. We always have a plan, said. Humans learned a long time ago that hopping for peace is good, but preparing for war is smart. Every human on this ship has emergency equipment hidden in their quarters. Every human knows basic combat. Every human knows the ship's systems well enough to use them as weapons if needed. Why did you never tell anyone? His expression softened. Would you have believed me if I had just told you, or would you have thought I was boasting? Humans have learned that actions speak louder than words. We show what we can do when we need to, not before. They moved to the cargo bay and met them there. His medical coat had blood on it, not her blood. How many inside? Asked. Checked his tablet. 7, including their leader. He is big, really big. Weapons. All of them are armed. Thought for a moment. We cannot go through the main door. They will gun us down. Alternative routes. There is a maintenance shaft, Minyu said. It opens above the cargo containers. We could come from above. Good, Jin, you and I will take the shaft. The rest of you wait for my signal, then come through the main door. We hit them from 2 directions. They will not know where to focus. What is the signal? Asked. Smiled that cold smile again. You will know it when you see it. He and Jin disappeared into the maintenance shaft. The rest of them waited by the cargo bay door. Seconds ticked by. Could hear her heart's pounding. Beside her looked nervous. Are all humans like this? Whispered. I am starting to think yes, whispered back. Inside the cargo bay she heard voices. The pirates were arguing about something. Then there was a loud crash, something heavy falling, shouting, a weapon firing. That is the signal, said, and she opened the door. The cargo bay was chaos. Jin had somehow caused an entire stack of cargo containers to fall. They had crushed 2 pirates underneath, was fighting 3 more at once. He moved between them like water, never where they expected him to be. The pirate leader stood in the center. He was enormous, easily 3 meters tall with scales that looked like metal plates. He held a massive axe in one hand and a gun in the other. He saw the humans and laughed. More of you little creatures. You think you can stop me? Yes, said simply. The leader fired his gun, dodged. The shot hit a container behind him, kept moving forward, not running, walking, calm and steady. You should be afraid, the leader snarled. I am afraid, said. Fear is good. Fear keeps you alert. But I do not let fear control me. That is what makes humans dangerous. We feel fear and we fight anyway. The leader swung his axe, ducked under it. The axe hit a support beam and stuck there. The leader tried to pull it free, kicked him in the back of the knee. The leader stumbled but did not fall. You are stronger than you look, the leader admitted. I am human, replied. We are always stronger than we look, not in muscles, in will, in stubbornness, in refusal to quit. You can beat us down and we will get back up. You can hurt us and we will keep fighting. You can think you have won and we will prove you wrong. That is what we are. That is what we have always been. The leader roared and charged, did not run. He stood his ground. At the last second, he moved aside and grabbed a cable from the wall. He wrapped it around the leader's legs. The leader crashed down. Before he could rise, was there with her injector. She stabbed it into his neck. The leader tried to grab her, but his movements were already slowing. Whatever was in that injector was strong. "Sleep," said coldly, "and be grateful we are civilized enough not to kill you." The leader's eyes closed. He went limp. The cargo bay was silent. 7 pirates lay unconscious or groaning in pain. The humans stood among them, barely breathing hard. "Looked at, ship is secure. All pirates are down. Captain can call for authorities now." Could only nod. Her mind was reeling. Everything she thought she knew about humans was wrong. They were not fragile. They were not weak. They were terrifying. The medical bay was full. Every bed held either a crew member or a captured pirate. Moved between them all, treating injuries with the same calm efficiency she had shown during the fight. Sat on one of the beds, watching work. The human medic had been on her feet for almost 18 hours now. 18 hours without sleep, without rest. She just kept moving, kept working, kept saving lives. "Do you not get tired?" finally asked. Glanced at her and smiled. "Of course I get tired, I am exhausted, but people need help. I can sleep later." "How much later?" "However long it takes." Shook her head in amazement. "On my world, medics work in shifts. No one works this long." "On Earth, we have a saying," said as she bandaged a cracked crystal arm. "Sleep when you are dead. It is a joke, but there is truth in it. Humans can function without sleep longer than most species. It is not healthy, and we will crash hard when we finally rest, but we can do it when we have to." "Why?" Paused in her work. "Because Earth taught us to. Our world was not kind. There were predators that hunted at night, dangers that did not care if we were tired. So we learned to push through exhaustion. We learned to stay awake and alert even when our bodies screamed for rest. It is survival instinct. It is what kept our ancestors alive." Entered the medical bay. He had a bandage wrapped around his shoulder and another around his ribs. He moved stiffly, but he was walking on his own. "You should be in bed," said sternly. "I know I will be soon." Looked at, "Can we talk?" She followed him to their quarters. The room felt different now. The same pictures of Earth hung on the walls. The same soft fabrics covered the bed, but saw them with new eyes. "You are angry," said quietly. "I am not angry, I am confused." "That is fair." Sat on the bed. "You lied to me. You let me think you were weak. You let everyone think it." "I never lied," said. "I am weak. Compared to you, compared to most species, I am very weak. I can barely walk in standard gravity without getting tired. I cannot eat most foods. Temperature changes affect me badly. I bruise easily. I break easily. All of that is true." "But you fought 20 pirates." "Yes." "You moved faster than I have ever seen you move." "Yes." "You were not weak then." Sat beside her. "Weakness and strength are complicated. Yes, physically I am weaker than you. If we arm wrestled, you would win every time. If we ran a race in high gravity, you would leave me behind. But there are different kinds of strength." He held up his hand. "Humans are weak in body, so we learn to be strong in other ways. We learn to be smart, to be adaptable, to use tools and strategy. We learn to work together. We learn to never give up, no matter how bad things got." "Why not just tell people? Why hide it?" "Because the galaxy does not like things it finds threatening," said sadly. "We have studied the other species. We have read the histories. Species that appear strong get treated with fear and suspicion. They get restricted, monitored, sometimes attacked preemptively. We learned this from our own history too. On Earth, we spent thousands of years fighting each other. We know what fear does." He gestured to himself. "So we appear harmless. We appear weak and fragile and in need of protection. And that is partially true. We do need specific environments. We do break easily, but we are also capable of defending ourselves when necessary. We just do not advertise it. Was quiet for a long moment. The day we met, when you fixed my translator, you could have charged me so much money. You could have demanded favors, but you just fixed it and smiled. Yes. Why? Because I could help, so I did. That is what humans do. We are social creatures. We survive by helping each other, by being kind, by building trust. Violence is a tool we use only when we must. You were so good at it, said. The fighting, like you had done it before. I have admitted. All humans train in combat, not because we want to fight, because we want to be ready if we have to. My parents made sure I learned. Their parents made sure they learned. It goes back generations. On Earth we have a saying, if you want peace, prepare for war. He took her hand in his. I am sorry I did not tell you, but would you have believed me? If I had said I am actually very capable of violence, would you have thought it was true? Or would you have thought I was compensating for my physical weakness? Thought about it honestly, I would not have believed you. Exactly, so I showed you who I am instead. The person who fixes things, who is kind, who loves you, that is the real me. The fighter is just a tool I keep in reserve. Captain's voice came over the ship's communication system. All crew to the galley for a meeting. They made their way there slowly, was clearly in pain from his injuries, but he did not complain. The galley was full. All the crew members who had been in the safe room were there. They looked at the humans with new eyes, some with respect, some with fear, some with both. Captain stood at the head of the table. His shell was cracked in 2 places from the fight, but he was alive. The authorities are 3 hours away, he said. They will take the pirates and give us an escort to the next station. We are safe now, thanks to our human crew members. Everyone looked at the 5 humans, Jin and Minyu. They sat together, looking uncomfortable with the attention. I have a question, said. How long have you all been hiding this capability? Answered, we are not hiding anything. We just do not advertise. Yes, we can fight. Yes, we are tougher than we look, but we prefer peace. We prefer fixing things and healing people and building things. The fighting is only for when we have no other choice. But you are so good at it, another crew member said. You took down pirates who have terrorized this sector for years. Shrugged, we are good at everything we put our minds to. That is the human advantage. We adapt, we learn, we overcome. Our bodies are weak, so our minds grew strong. Our world tried to kill us in 1,000 ways, so we learned to survive all of them. Your world, Captain asked, what is Earth like? The humans looked at each other. Jin spoke up. Earth is a death world by galactic standards. The gravity is crushing. The temperature swings from freezing to burning. There are storms that can tear apart buildings, earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunamis, and that is just the planet itself. The life on Earth is even worse. Worse how? Someone asked. Almost everything on Earth evolved to either eat us or avoid being eaten by us, Minyu said. We had to compete with creatures that were stronger, faster, had better senses, had natural weapons. We survived by being smarter, by working together, by never giving up. Added, we are pursuit predators. We do not give up. If we decide to hunt something, we follow it until it drops from exhaustion. We can run for hours, days if we have to. We can survive injuries that would kill most species from shock alone. We can eat food that is rotting or poisonous to others. We can live in deserts and tundras and jungles. We can adapt to almost anything. The galley was silent, saw the other crew members processing this information, seeing the humans in a new light. So you are all warriors? Captain asked. No, said firmly. We are people who can fight when we must, but we would rather not. We would rather build and heal and explore and learn. Fighting is what we do when all other options are gone. It is not who we are. Looked around the table. We are still the same people we were yesterday. I am still the engineer who will fix your equipment and make bad jokes. is still the medic who will care for you when you are sick. We have not changed. You just see more of us now." 3 days later, found herself alone on the observation deck. The authorities had taken the pirates away. The ship had been repaired. They were back on course, heading to their next delivery. But everything felt different. She watched the stars stream by and thought about her husband. Was in their quarters, finally sleeping after had ordered him to rest. He had fought off protests, but even he could not resist when used her doctor voice. "Thinking hard?" a voice asked. Turned, stood there holding 2 cups of something hot. She offered one too. "Thank you," said, taking it. Stood beside her, looking out at the stars. "He is okay, you know. His injuries are healing well. Humans heal fast when we are given proper care and rest." "I know. I'm not worried about his body." "You are worried about your relationship." It was not a question. Nodded. "Everything I thought I knew was wrong. I thought I was protecting him. I thought I was the strong one, but I was wrong." "You are not wrong," said gently. "You are strong. Is not wrong when he says humans are weak. We are, in some ways. You could break every bone in his body without trying. You can work in gravity that would crush him. You can eat foods that would poison him. You are stronger." "But he defeated pirates." "Yes, because strength comes in many forms." Sipped her drink. "Can I tell you something about humans? Something most species do not understand." "Please." "We are afraid all the time," said. "Every moment of every day. Earth taught us fear. Fear of predators, fear of starvation, fear of the cold and the heat and the dark. We are a species that evolved being afraid. But we learned something important. We learned that being afraid does not mean you are weak. It means you are aware of danger. What matters is what you do with that fear." She looked at, "Is afraid of many things. He is afraid of failing his duties, afraid of letting down the crew, afraid of you getting hurt. But he does not let that fear control him. He uses it to stay alert, to plan, to prepare. That is the human way." "I feel like I did not really know him," said quietly. "You know him better than anyone," corrected. "You know his kindness, his patience, his love for you. The fighting ability is just a skill he has. It is not who he is. Think of it like, you have 4 arms. That is a skill too, an advantage, but it is not who you are as a person, right?" "Thought about that. That makes sense." "Did not change. Your understanding of him changed. And that is okay. Relationships grow when we learn new things about each other." They stood in comfortable silence for a while, then asked the question that had been bothering her. "Do other species know about humans?" Smiled. "Some do, the smart ones, the ones who pay attention. They notice that humans always survive, that we show up in the strangest places, that we adapt to situations that should kill us. But most species see what they expect to see. Small, weak creatures who need protection, and we let them think that. Is that not dishonest? Is it dishonest for prey animals to use camouflage? Is it dishonest for hunters to move quietly? We are not lying. We are simply not volunteering information that might make others fear us. Humans learned long ago that being feared is dangerous, better to be underestimated. Until you have no choice." "Until we have no choice," agreed. "Then we show what we can do. Then we protect those we care about. Then we prove that soft does not mean weak." Footsteps behind them. Walked onto the observation deck looking sleepy but rested. "I thought I would find you here," he said too. "I will leave you 2 alone," said, squeezing his arm as she passed. Stood beside at the window. "Are you okay?" he asked. "I should ask you that. You were the one who was hurt." "I am fine, healing well, says I can return to light duty tomorrow." He paused. "But you did not answer my question. Are you okay?" Set down her cup. "I am processing, learning, understanding." "Take your time. I know this is a lot." "Did you ever think about telling me, before the attack?" Considered the question. "Sometimes, but I worried you would think differently of me. I liked that you saw me as someone who needed care. It made me feel valued, not for what I could do but for who I was. I do value you for who you are. I know that now, but at the beginning I was not sure. Humans are insecure sometimes. We worry that people only want us for what we can provide, so when someone cares for us just because, it feels special. Took his hand. I have a confession too. Oh. When I first told my family about you, they said terrible things. They said you were too weak, too fragile, that I should find someone stronger, someone who could protect me. She smiled. I told them they were idiots, that you were the kindest person I had ever met, that I did not need protection. I needed a partner. What do you need now? Asked quietly. Now that you know what I can do. The same thing, a partner, someone who will stand beside me, who will fix things when they break, who will make me laugh, who will hold me when I am sad, the fighting, the survival skills, the hidden strength. Those are tools you have. They are not who you are. But they are part of who I am. Yes, and I am learning to accept all of you, not just the gentle engineer, but also the warrior who appears when needed. Both are you. Both are valid. Pulled her close, careful of his injuries. I love you, he said simply. I love you too, all of you. They stood together watching the stars. After a while spoke again. Can I ask you something? Anything. How many other secrets do humans have? Laughed. It was his real laugh, warm and genuine. Oh, many. We have jokes we have not shared, stories about Earth that sound too ridiculous to be true, skills we learned because Earth demanded it, but I promise I will tell you all of them. In time. I will hold you to that. Later, sat alone in their quarters while was in engineering. She opened her personal log and began to record her thoughts. Personal log, Navigation Officer of the Stellar Drift, Day 47 of the voyage. 3 days ago our ship was attacked by pirates. We should have been captured, ransomed, perhaps killed, but we were saved. Saved by the people I thought were weakest among us. I married a human who seemed so fragile, who walked carefully because the gravity was too much, who got tired easily, who needed specific food and specific temperatures, who seemed like a strong wind could break him. I was wrong. Fragile and weak are not the same thing. Fragility made humans careful. It made them think before acting. It made them plan and prepare and always have a backup strategy. Fragility made them value intelligence over strength, made them innovators and engineers and healers. But weakness. Humans were never weak. They were just waiting for a reason to prove it. I have learned something important. Strength comes in many forms: physical strength, mental strength, emotional strength, the strength to be kind when others are cruel, the strength to build when others destroy, the strength to keep going when everything says you should give up. Humans have all of these strengths. They just do not show them all at once. My husband is a gentle person who can become a warrior when needed. He is a skilled engineer who can fight like a soldier. He is someone who chooses peace but prepares for war. He is all of these things at once, and I am only now beginning to understand the depth of that. The other crew members look at the humans differently now, some with respect, some with fear, some with both. But I notice that when things break, they still call. When they are sick, they still trust. When they need help, they still ask the humans first. Because the humans never changed. We just finally saw them clearly. Earth must be an incredible place to create beings like this. A death world that forces its children to be strong in every way, to adapt, to survive, to never give up. I am grateful I married a human, not because he can fight, but because he chooses not to unless he must, because he is kind and patient and loving, because he values peace but is capable of war, because he is everything the galaxy underestimates and he is content to let them underestimate him. Humans are not conquerors, they are survivors, and there is a difference. Conquerors seek to dominate, survivors seek to endure, to adapt, to overcome, to protect what they love. I am proud to be married to a survivor. I am proud to call humans my friends. I am proud to have learned this lesson, even if it took a pirate attack to teach me. The galaxy thinks humans are weak. Let them think that. Those of us who know better will smile and say nothing. We will let the humans continue fixing our ships and healing our wounds and making their bad jokes. We will let them seem fragile and harmless. And we will sleep better at night knowing that if danger comes, the humans will be ready. They are always ready. They have been ready since their species first looked up at the stars and decided to reach for them. End log. Closed the recording and smiled. Outside her window, the stars continued their eternal dance. And somewhere in the engine room, her husband was humming while he worked, being exactly who he had always been. Gentle, kind, capable human.